All right, guys, Sifu Scott Tarbell here with Sifu Thomas. Today we're going to be continuing on with lesson 2 of how to use China in Wing Chun. So last week we were looking at the Lat Sau cycle and how we could go from a pak da, and then if the guy grabs. Now, a couple of things that we can think about, right, is as a Wing Chun man, I don't always need him to grab, right? If I entered in pretty hard, right, even if he didn't grab, he has to give me pressure back, right? If he doesn't, and it's weak pressure, like he doesn't have structure, I would just hit him in the face, right? So I'm expecting he's going to give me some energy back. So with that said, you could do any of the chin that we're doing today. So it's not indicative upon the guy grabbing you, because Wing Chun people, we use a lot of forward pressure, right? So when I'm here, I pop in and get this thing, right? From here, what I'm going to do is review last week. So the first thing we did was keeping this hand, I grab, I step to the right with the right foot. We had this one where I grab his pinky, remember this one? We go crack like that, and then I pulled him in, and we finished with something, right? So that was the first one, just to disrupt his thinking from an offensive mindset and put him in more of a defensive mindset. So pock and punch, right? I move to the side. Remember, I'm not letting this one go. If I let go so early, it's easy for him to hit me or slap me or whatever he wants to do, right? So until I can get to the empty door, which is to the side here where I'm safe, right? I hold that hand. First one is the pinky from here, and then I pull in just like that to hit. All right, so that was option 1 that we had last week. And this is just called splitting the finger splitting. So anytime that you're grabbing your opponent's fingers, right, and you're like splitting them or dividing them, we always call this like finger splitting or dividing the tendon in there. So the second option that we had was more of a gross motor option, right? So when I went in here, same thing, I grabbed the wrist and I kept this here, but then we grabbed and we stole his mind either with a punch or here, and then we went under his elbow like that, and I had this one where I could stand up, all right, to give a lot of power here, or I could have grabbed, we'll turn this way, yeah. I could have grabbed my shirt or jacket to do this thing, or I could have grabbed my wrist and done this thing as well. So you have those two options. That one is the prop up the elbow, where you're propping up his elbow. Okay, so that was last week. So this week we take a look at a couple more options we can do on this side. Right, so this first one from here, I cock and I get the pressure. Now from here, instead of going external, going to the outside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the inside like this. Okay, so now from here, as I step, right, always finding the angle, the empty door, I'm going to try to elbow. Now, if he didn't have any structure or his grab was quite weak, I could come in and maybe elbow, or I could fox out or do something like that. If the guy has a strong grip on me, that's when we have the problem, right? Remember, my goal is always just to do this, like come in and grab and like do something, right? But if he's holding me, then I can't do that. And I never want to fight strength with strength. This is not the Wing Chun way. This is not the Wuxia way. So I go here, right? And as I move to the side and I try to elbow or roll this for the rolling fox out, I feel that he's stopping me, right? He's got a strong grip and he's stopping me. So from here, right, we'll come this way. My thumb comes up and traps his pointer finger. And then I grab the other ones as well, like that, and I push in. Now, the reason I do this is because if I just grab, he can pull his hand out. It's quite easy, right? So from here, right, when I do this and I go to the side, I trap. So now it's a little harder for him to pull out. He doesn't have the exit point this way or this way, right, because I've closed the exits on him, like that. Now I try to elbow and go over. And I bring back to the center this way, and easy. All I'm doing is this, here, this way, like this, right? So here, I need a placement and a placement to do this quite easy, right? So we use our whole body. I use a big weapon against a small weapon, right? So your opponent is quite strong. So when I go here, I go on top, I bring back to the center. See, I use my whole body like that. All right, so we'll back up just a little bit. So option 1 is just to do the chin up, right? So here to the side, I do chin up, oh, like this. All right, very easy. All right, we call this "forgive me for not going with you." This comes from Yang's martial arts, right? Master Yang. Right, but we incorporate this into our Wuxia program because we are also under Master Yang for our Tai Chi Chuan. Right, So here, I go to the side, and now we add some Wing Chun. Remember, I want to disrupt his mind. So I go here, and maybe I use this to like really hurt his wrists, you know? But I steal his mind, I go pop. And now from here, right, this is gonna come in right away. See this, I go crack, this comes in right away, all right, to knock him out or do some damage like this, okay? Now from here, I come over, and I can go, all right, very quickly, yeah? Now you can also chain punch if you wanted to. It's not wrong, right? I go here, boom, this comes in, all right? Right away, I could just step in. See how I trap his arm here, boom. And then I can elbow, or I can elbow, right? While his arm is trapped. So that's another option for you. Here, he grabs, I move, boom, right away, you see? As soon as he starts to go down, I strike in, and then I step in and see how I trap this? Grab in here, okay? So trapping his arm just for a moment gives me an option, right? So in Wing Chun, we always think we want to trap this way and hit or something like that, but sometimes you can use, right? You can use your body, see, like this, to trap, right? So for a moment in time, I'm able to control the situation while he's trying to get his hands up, especially if the guy is strong and he's like stiff, he's using too much power, he'll trap himself down there, okay? It's the soft people that are able to slither out of the uncomfortable position. So that is option one. Forgive me for not going with you. Option two, all right? We talk about when I go here, I try to elbow, right? This way, I try to roll, but he's holding strong. So I do this one, right? But now, as I try to bend his arm in, right, he pushes his arm straight, you see? So I try to do this, he feels it, maybe he's wise, right? He straightens his arm. So I'm gonna pull myself in, see? I pull in until the point, right, where my bicep goes above his elbow. This is very important, so we'll show this side real quick, right? So here, right, his elbow. So I slide, right, until I get to the position where my bicep is above his elbow. This is important, so I'm sliding in. Right, so we come back here for a second, right? So from here, I pock and punch. I try to do this, forgive me for not going with you, but he straightens his arm. As he straightens his arm, I slide up. But you see, I'm keeping this here. This is still mine. I slide up, and now this hand comes underneath and grabs his wrist. All right, now I'm gonna clamp my elbow to my body, and I lift his wrist higher, like this right away, all right? So the motion is trying to do this. I lift and down, right? So you're trying to get him this way with the leverage. We call this one old man promoted to general, even though he's a young guy. Right? So here, right away, I go in, and then I slide in from here, you see? Right? So I slide, this comes underneath, and then I lift like that. Now remember, with the china, right, the goal is never to like kind of just restrain them, and because they'll wiggle out eventually, right? So china is always designed to like rip something or misplace a tendon or a bone or something like that, right? To do some damage, like shocking damage, you know? Yeah, it's never just to hold somebody and make them dance around and tap out and do all that, all right? That's nothing. This should be like crack, right? So, yeah. Or I come in and this is boom, right? You use a lot of power right away and hyperextend the elbow. Okay, so now, with that said, all right, when his arm is straightened, it also offers me the opportunity. So I go here, I slide in, right? And when I do this, like that, I don't want to go all the way down. I just go here, and then look, I go crack. See this? So we turn a little bit, right? Once I'm here, boom, it slides right in nicely. Then I grab, see how I keep it trapped in? See how my arm traps it in? And I pull, right here into this punch, this way. Okay, so here, turn a little bit. I go to the side, I try to do, forgive me for not going with you, straightens his arm, I slide, I go with the flow. Now I go, boom, bang, here. You see, so for a moment, my body has trapped nice and tight, and I go here. He's gonna try to fight, but I'm here, you see? Bang, bang. So for a moment in time, which is all I need to be effective in Wing Chun, because remember, your timing beats speed and your precision beats power. So when I trap him for a second, I can land a very hard shot. All right, now, if he's blocking, of course, right? Even somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, right? Come up just a little bit, for camera, yeah. Even somebody who doesn't know, when I go here, if he blocks, that's okay. I'm still going around. You see, I run around and I go here. Now, if I punch and he's blocking here, he's covered up. Then from here, I got these. You see, he can't be everywhere, right? He brings it up, right? I wrap around. Look at this one back here. I can press him down and go here, right? So we always avoid the heavily guarded area, right? And we try to find where is he unguarded. He can't be everywhere trying to protect himself, all right? So let's review real quick. All right, so option one, off the pata, I go here, he grabs strong, right? I move to the side, I trap his exits, bring it back to the center. See, my body goes back to the center, down, and then crack, in, boom. Or I can chain punch, boom, and come in with this thing, strike with the shoulder, boom, here, whatever you want, you know? Option two, this guy is wise. He's able to straighten his arm. Right? I try to do this and he straightens, so I slide in and then here. Strike right away, trap the arm, here, boom, boom. And you could keep them there and just keep firing punches in as well, okay? So you have all those options. So thank you very much. All right, and work on these two techniques. Forgive me for not going with you, and old men promoted to general, okay? Just make sure you're not the general. All right, have a good weekend, guys. Work on those techniques.